S.T.U.A.R.T, as I said, is this neuro-emotional, energetic, physiological, psychological barrier that is semi-permeable. It's like it has a wall. You know, like every single cell in your body, there is a wall to it. It's called a membrane. And that membrane can let certain things in and let certain things out, but it's intelligent. They have discovered that they thought that the brain of the cell was in fact the nucleus. That's not actually the case. The brains, the intelligence of our cells exists in the wall. It's called the membrane. And this membrane, as certain things interact with it, it changes shape to allow certain nutrients in and certain waste products out. It's incredibly intelligent and it's controlled by our nervous system. Now imagine that you have this energetic perimeter, this dome, this circular kind of wall that's around you, but you cannot see it with your eyes. It's not a visual thing. It's built up on a neuro-emotional, physical perimeter. And this membrane around you also lets certain things in and certain things out. What it lets in and what it lets out is determined by your conditioning and what makes you feel safe and unsafe in the world. For example, this perimeter obviously lets color in, light in, sound. You can feel often when people touch you, so it allows you to sense the world through your 5 senses. But have you noticed that sometimes you can feel numb emotionally? That is, are you fully feeling what is available right now in terms of the potential love that is available for you? The answer is absolutely no. Each one of us has to limit that. It has to suppress it because it would overwhelm our systems. Our nervous systems would go into overload to receive such love in abundance. You walk out and you see this beautiful sunset. Person A looks at it and goes, whatever. Person B is moved to tears. One person is letting that touch them more than the other. Therefore, each one of your S.T.U.A.R.Ts is slightly different because it's been trained differently by your conditioning, by what has made you safe and unsafe in the world. Primarily in our early ages in our life. Because what happened is, as we grew up, specifically in the ages of 1 to 3, 4, 5, around that time, we were very open. We didn't have our S.T.U.A.R.Ts formed properly. We didn't have strategies that would keep us safe. We were just children open to the world. And of course, what did we open to? The world. And is the world full of light and love always? No. So what we experienced as children is sometimes it was safe to open and sometimes we experienced in that openness hurt, pain. Perhaps our parents in moments, out of their best intentions, they were doing the best they could, but perhaps there were certain times when you felt abandoned, not felt, not got. Perhaps you were slightly different to the rest of your brothers and sisters and you just felt a bit of an alien in your own family, not really at home. Anybody feel that way? Well, as a child feeling that over and over and over again over many years, you can expect that would create a sense of feeling bad. A disconnect then comes. But of course, we don't want to feel the pain of abandonment, rejection, wounding. So what we do is we disconnect from the disconnect. So our S.T.U.A.R.T is in fact the protection from feeling our pain, which is of course a reflection of how open we are. That's why I said if you can lower your S.T.U.A.R.T, you think that you're just going to feel joy, but often the first thing that you feel is more of the stuff you haven't been willing to feel over the many years, not feeling it. That's why I said, if you move towards what brings you joy, you will contact your core unworthiness, because as you move towards what you want, you have to open to receive it. And when you open to receive joy, you have to also open to the other part of you that may be hiding or pushing away pain. Is this making sense so far? Is it clear why joy brings up pain. Because to be joyful, you need to be open. Not just open to this, but open to the rejection, open to the failure. You cannot experience a joyful life without being vulnerable to receiving all of it. So in our best attempts to function in the world, we develop strategies over the years to keep ourselves functional and safe. These are behaviors, and we call these S.T.U.A.R.T. strategies. These are the things that we do that protect us from feeling. I'll give you some examples. Codependent relationships can be a source of distraction because our attention is now on the other rather than on ourselves. And as long as we're feeling other, we don't have to feel ourselves. Clear example? Another one, addiction. We don't feel always worthy and we don't really feel the value and our own goodness. So now we need to replace what we are feeling in terms of our emptiness with something external. And while we take in that external pill, alcohol, shopping, spending, whatever it may be, while we're focused here, we're not focused here. It's a clear example. Yeah. But we all have our S.T.U.A.R.T. strategies. Now, how does this relate to your shadow? Quite simply, if your shadows are these parts that you carry shame around, guilt around, the parts that you feel could never be exposed to other, or you can never dare show this aspect of you. And by the way, it's not just the heavy stuff. There are such things as light shadows, like your fear of stepping into power, greatness, your fullness. That can be terrifying, and you may not want to show that because of the sense of aloneness you may feel, or the sense of disconnect, or people seeing you as arrogant. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't think of shadows as all the wounds and all the stuff necessarily. It's actually whatever part you diminish from, whatever you don't want to show to the world because you have a judgment that it's not okay. It's basically anything in your neuro-emotional-energetic history that when you think about being that way, you go, oh, ow. I could never imagine being that. These are states of being, for example. Could be the shadow is, I feel I am inauthentic. So when I'm inauthentic, it doesn't sit well. So when I do my shadow work around inauthenticity, I become more okay with my part that is inauthentic, and I begin to own it and realize that it's okay to have inauthenticity in my range. So the only way to actually expand your emotional range is to own and accept and acknowledge the parts that you have deemed unacceptable, unlovable. Because whatever part of you that you've tried to cut out will come back to haunt you. Whatever you try to get rid of will get rid of you. Eventually, you'll poison your system. And it's keeping you stuck, it's keeping you emotionally in jail, and you are not going to be able to live the life that you are destined to live here and now.